The drive-thru. I'm your host Tony T. As we broadcast live here on Pig Dawgz and Sports Chat Plays YouTube channel throughout social media. We'll get you out of here before the top of the hour. Give you guys enough time to get those bets in for the primetime games. That's what we do here at the drive-thru Monday through Friday at 6 p.m. Eastern Time. Deliver live free picks for the games beginning at 7 p.m. Eastern Time and later. And to deliver those winners, our professional handicappers over at Pig Dawgz and Sports Chat Plays will meet the cappers and get right to the picks as we don't mess around here on the drive-thru. Let's go to Damon. Damon, what's going on?
Hey, how you doing, Tony? A little bit of a rough weekend the last couple days here for me, but I'm looking to bounce back. We had a strong college basketball season last year, so looking to finish it up strong here. And we got a good slate going tonight.
Very good. Yeah, good slate going on. Some big conferences in action as we're narrowing down. A couple of weeks left here in February. Then we get into conference tournament action. Let's say hello, Rod. Rod, what's going on?
Hey, I ended my losing streak. I was on a nice little 5-15 run, and we turned it around, and now we're on an 8-3 run. So let's continue moving in the right direction, finding these winners in this college basketball action. Sometimes taking a step back, getting a nice little quiet week or so, and only have to focus on some college basketball and that Four Nations stuff, and absolutely exciting. And the NBA, we know we've just put that in the rearview mirror, but it'll be back tomorrow. So enjoyed the little bit of a break. But let's get back to this college slate and let back the NBA. And then by Saturday, hey, the NHL's roaring back in, I think, with 15 games. So we'll be right back heavy into the professional sports. Let's get to it.
That's
I like
good.
today's card. I'm excited. There's definitely some good money makers in this slate of action to get to. Maybe some good games tonight. Looking forward to it.
Yeah, some teams that are in, some teams that are in the bubble, but some teams that could slip. So these are important games nonetheless here this time of the year. Nothing for certain at all here for many of these teams. So let's get underway here with the first block game. So we'll cover here the first block will be the games from 6:30 Eastern and include the 7 Eastern because we have a boatload of 7 Eastern in this slot. So we'll knock it in. That'll be the first block here. So let's get the games up here. So these will be some of the games that we cover in this block. As you can see, there is some MAC action here with Miami. Bellarmine, the A10 in action there. Bellarmine has covered a few. There are some big dogs here. You can see the big one, Villanova and UConn. This has come down. We saw this one spike up as high as 9.5 early this morning. And there's been a little bit of buyback, because I thought they would in this game, because both teams coming off some pretty bad losses here. We can see some more Queens of North Carolina, Toledo, Ball State, some action in there as well. Action always a good conference tournament. Big number there with Florida against Oklahoma here. As I said, the SEC here in that 7 Eastern slot with a lot of really good games. Purdue, Michigan State there, you can see there on Peacock. Syracuse and Pitt. Syracuse has been money makers. You can see Raj supporting the cap there. There may be a little preview of what's to come here in just a minute. More 7 Eastern time, A10 in there. This is a big one too. Texas Tech and TCU here. TCU the dog in this one. Butler and Xavier, we got some Big East mixed up, but we're not going to do that yet because we're only going to do the 7 Eastern time. So let me back up this train a little bit. I got to hit the brakes on this one and go back a little bit because we're just going to do the 7 Eastern in this slot. So let's get this one underway here with Rod.
And we'll kick it off with this. The first one is that Villanova taking on UConn. And UConn at home here this season, man, have they ever been slow starters in games. 0-11 ATS at home in first halves of games this season. And I ain't getting off that number. I'll take Villanova plus the 5 there in the first half to keep it close if they don't have a lead heading into that halftime break. I know that the coach called his team out and said, hey, you guys can't be starting games like this. You'll get yourself too far behind and can't come roaring back. But I don't know if that's enough motivation because this Villanova team's definitely motivated enough to keep this close. So I'll take the plus 5 in the first half in that matchup. And then, as Tony was alluding to, Austin P taking on Bellarmine. Austin P now up to 5.5. It was 4.5 earlier, so that's been steadily on the rise with good reason. You look at what Bellarmine's done following a loss by 6 points or less. So when a close, tight game, and they lose that close, tight game, Bellarmine hasn't fared so well in the next one. They're 0-10 ATS following a loss by 6 points or less, so I would lean to Austin P in that matchup. Another one here I like in this time slot of games is I like Syracuse here in this spot. You look at Syracuse following a cover as an underdog that as a dog where they didn't win outright. They got the cover, but not the win. That next game, they followed up with another solid effort. They're 8-0 ATS in that spot. Like I said, that last game, they got the cover against North Carolina in that one. And they were a 9-point dog. And now you're getting 11 points versus this Pittsburgh team. Yeah, I think this Pittsburgh team is slightly better than North Carolina. but I still think it's too many points. Give me Syracuse plus the 11 in that matchup. Another one I'm looking at in this time spot is the one that I'm looking at.
Yeah.
Spot in the hat. Most people are looking at, hey, look what Michigan State just did. They went into Illinois and got themselves a nice win as an underdog to get Izzo that most wins in the Big Ten. So he's now has that record, and they were celebrating and getting all excited. Well, guess what Izzo does after those big wins as an outright underdog? He follows the next game up with a solid performance. His teams are 13-1 straight up the next game. It's that time of year where I'm not going to back against Michigan State here in this one. I don't think it's a look ahead. I know on Friday they play their arch rivals in Michigan, and that's going to be a good game too. But I'm going to lay it here with Michigan State. I think they get the job done. It's up to 3. I still like it. I think they win by 6+ here in this one.
Yeah, from Rod. Next up, we move right on over to Damon.
I'm going to piggyback a couple here off of Rod, a couple games that I like as well. I like Villanova, but I like them for the whole game. This one, you look last week, both these teams kind of had an interesting week. UConn beating Creighton and then come back lose to Seton Hall. Villanova beat St. John's and come back and lose to Providence. I think we've seen, though, time and again that UConn just isn't, and they're not obviously not the same team they were last year. Villanova has the nation's leading scorer in Eric Dixon. Villanova certainly isn't in the tournament yet. There's no lock to make the tournament. They need wins like this. I don't know if they get this win, but I think they come out and they play strong and keep this one close. And then also I like Syracuse as well. Pitt I think is definitely the better team. But the Orange have been playing better. They're 7-3 against the spread their last 10 games, whereas Pitt is 3-7 their last 10 games. Pitt's not a dominant team by any means, and I'm going to take the Qs with the points in that one. And another one that I like is Texas A&M. This team, they just seem to win. It doesn't matter who they play, where they're playing at. They play hard. They play good defense, and the offensive rebounding is just outstanding. So I'm going to take A&M as well in the 7 o'clock slot.
Yeah, from Damien, tell you here what I think about some of these games here in this slot here. I'm going to look here at Villanova plus the points. As I said, both teams coming off losses. You look at UConn over their past 5 games, really not shooting the ball very well, just 43%, failing to cover 10 of 14 in the Big East. Villanova, second offensive efficiency in the Big East. Secure the basketball, they hit the shots from 3, 82% at the line in conference. I got to look at Villanova plus the points in that one here. And I'm going to lay it here for Florida. I know it's a big number, but the Gators have covered 9 of 13 at home, shooting 49%, 36% from 3. But, man, this Sooners team, they lose at home to LSU. That's a really bad loss. LSU is really down this year. Look at some of their recent performances on the road. They've just been smoked. Past 5 for Sooners, 40%, shooting 50%. They're allowing. I can only look one way in that one as well. Look at Michigan State in this spot here. Spartans defensively have been strong there. When you look here at Purdue, giving 57% shooting from 2-point distance. That's the difference for me. Also, Purdue's defensive form over the past 5, getting up 51%. I'll look at Michigan State in that spot. All right, let's continue here on the drive-through as we get ready here to close out college basketball here in these 2 blocks. So let's go ahead and get the graphic board back up here for you guys. So we'll see the games here in the 7:30 all the way to the closing game here for tonight. You'll see here's the Big 12 game between Texas and TCU. You can see Tech a road favorite in this one. Butler, Xavier there. Colorado and Iowa State Cyclones laying a big number there at home against a disappointing Colorado team. We've got some Mountain West action there. Wisconsin and Illinois there. Illinois going to be laying 3.5, total 161.5. Some smaller conference actions here. Mountain West here. Colorado State, Nevada. Nevada is going to be dogs. They did get that cover against San Jose State. That was a game that I think a lot of people were looking at the dog in that. I think there was one contrarian that we know very well that took the Nevada side, happened to cash a ticket there. But anyway, Colorado State will lay the 3.5 at home in that one. Kansas, BYU. Can Kansas can they win a game in altitude? We'll see here. They're a dog here against BYU. Virginia Tech, BC also on the slate here. Arizona State and Houston. Houston on the road 12 in this one. ESPN2 will televise it. More Big East action. LSU and South Carolina. LSU here now 2.5 against South Carolina. Late night action here out west. Minnesota at UCLA. FS1 to televise. UCLA was they opened 14. We saw some 11s. We saw some 12s. Right now 11.5 here. Total 130.5. And our super late night game is going to be Fresno State and San Jose State, with the Aztecs here laying 18.5 against a down Fresno State team. Total 142.5. So in this block, we get it underway here with Rod.
Yeah, look at these this slate of action. First one I'm looking at here in this matchup is, you know what? Just the one that you alluded to. Look at that Nevada heading into Colorado State. It's just this time of season Nevada starts to pick up their play. I think I alluded to last time when they were playing. It might be too little too late for Steve Alford and company. But you give me 3.5 there. You give me over possession heading into Colorado State. I'll take Nevada plus the 3.5 in that matchup. Another one I'm looking at here in this one, as Tony alluded to, LSU minus 2.5 there in that one. They are by far the better team in this matchup, and only having to lay 2.5, looking like low-hanging fruit. They want you to pick that low-hanging fruit. I'm not touching it. Give me South Carolina in this matchup. You look at LSU against the bad teams, teams that are only winning 20 to 40% of their games, which is what South Carolina's been doing. They're 0-8 ATS. LSU plays down to their opponents. Give me South Carolina plus the 2.5 there in that matchup. And then I'll lay the 11.5 there with UCLA. That means a lot of money's come in on Minnesota and the Gophers a little bit. They see what the Gophers did in their last matchup. They were down big. They came roaring back and got themselves a nice little outright win on the weekend. 169-66 in that matchup. You're not doing that against this UCLA team at home. UCLA at home defensively is going to shut down the Gophers, make it really, really tough for them to be scoring points. UCLA I got by 15 plus in that matchup. And then the other one I didn't get to was Butler. Look at Butler. They're heading it out on the road in that matchup. And for me, it's Butler off of 2 games at home. What do? They come out off that first game out of the road, and they play solid basketball. 6-0 ATS. Is this Butler team following 2 games at home. Look what they've done over their last 3. Won 3 straight games, playing some good basketball. I'll take Butler plus the 7 to wrap up the late slate of action.
Yeah, from Rod. Next up, we move right on over to Damon.
Right, I'm actually going to disagree with Rod on one of them here. I'm going to go with Xavier over Butler. Butler has just 1 win away from home all season. When you look at those 3 wins, Synthesis Center is a really tough place to play here for opponents. Those 3 wins that Butler has in a row here against Seton Hall, Providence, and Georgetown. I just think with the Butler road struggles, I'm going to take Xavier in that one and lay the number. Taking a look here at Illinois, Wisconsin. I like Wisconsin here. Illinois is coming into this one off of a bad home loss to Michigan State. Wisconsin, that impressive win at Purdue. You might think it's a bit of a letdown spot here for Whiskey, but I just don't see it. They're playing really good ball right now. They've won 4 in a row. 3 of those were on the road. And they're certainly not going to take Illinois lightly. Illinois beat them earlier this year, so a bit of a revenge spot as well here for Wisconsin. So I'm going to lay the points here with the Badgers in that one. And then a little bit later here, I like Marquette against Seton Hall. Seton Hall had that, really kind of unbelievable win here against UConn in overtime. Prior to that, though, they lost 9 in a row. I kind of think the pinnacle of the season here is going to be that win against Connecticut for Seton Hall. They're just not a good basketball team. Marquette beat them earlier this year, I believe, by like 17 points on the road. Shaka Smart here can use the Connecticut win to help keep his Marquette troops focused in this one. So I'm going to lay that big number with Marquette against Seton Hall.
There from Damien. Tell you what I think about some of these games here. I'm going to go ahead and look at Wisconsin as well. Badgers covered 11 of 14 in the Big Ten, hitting 47%, allowing just 42%. A team that has really rebounded the basketball effectively in conference and defending the 2-point shot. Illinois is a team that struggled offensively in conference with turnovers, just 28% from 3. They don't apply enough ball pressure defensively in conference. So I'll look at Wisconsin there. Yep, give me the high elevation with BYU here. Jayhawks have failed to cover 4 of 5 with struggles on the glass. That's a tough home court there in BYU. Kansas just 7th in offensive efficiency in the Big 12, and they don't put enough ball pressure to force turnovers in conference play. BYU is first in effective field goal shooting in the Big 12, about 36% from 3, 58% from 2. I'll look at BYU in that one, and it's going to be a tough one here. I'm going to hold my nose and take Arizona State plus 12. They have a tendency to show up in games like they did against, was it Texas Tech when they forced those 2 overtimes on them on the road recently. I'll look at them, and believe it or not, Houston away from home, get them off their home court. They have a losing spread record away from home, shooting just over 43%. And as we said, the Devils were competitive at Texas Tech, forcing those 2 turnovers in defeat. And Sun Devils have defended well here at home, holding teams at 41% shooting, and in conference they defend the three very well, 30%. So look at ASU here at plus the points. All right, let's continue here on the drive-thru. We got you through the card today here from College Hoops in our 2 blocks, and now it's time for our parlay peripheral segment where our cappers will give a parlay out. They could give a team or player prop. They could give a game in the future, baseball. I've heard some baseball numbers out there from team player props, season props. They make the call in this segment, so we start this one off here with Ron.
First leg of the parlay, we're going to kick it off with give me South Carolina plus the 2.5 in that matchup. And then we're going to take give me Syracuse plus the points there as the dog. And then give me Butler plus the 7 in that matchup there as well. So 3 dogs for you. Butler, South Carolina, and Syracuse.
Yeah, from Rod. Next up, we move right on over to Damien.
Yeah, I'm going to go with 2-teamer here. I like Marquette to blow out Seton Hall and parlay that one with Wisconsin. They got the revenge going here against Illinois. So Marquette and Wisconsin. Lay the number.
A number there from Damien. All right, the ones I like here, I like ASU plus the points, along with BYU laying the points here against. It's like a 2-teamer tonight on tonight's card. All right, we got you through the parlay peripheral segment. Now it's time to see what the cappers have for sale over at Pick Dawgz for tonight. Action heading into a week of hoops action on the ice returning Saturday. Tomorrow the NBA returns with that wildfire makeup game as the Hornets are at Crypto to face the Lakers. And then, of course, Thursday will be the bigger card. But Hoops NBA coming back here tomorrow. So let's see what the cappers have for sale over at Pick Dawgz Premium. So first up, we will see what the Damon's got going on over there right now over at Pick Dawgz Premium. Or Damon, had a pretty good year in the NBA. What you got for sale?
Yeah, like I said, it's been a rough couple of days here, but we're ready to turn that around. I've got a really big college card that I really like tonight. I've got 6 total plays out there. You can get a couple of totals and 4 sides, and I got my College Hoops 3-pack as well. So head on over there. But as always, and I say this every time, guys, the long-term plan is the way to go. 3-7 30-day plan, and definitely the 2-for-1 capper deal. Team me up with some of these guys here are just absolutely on fire on the site. Team me up with one of them and put both of us to work to make you some money.
Very good, guys. Get on board with Damon Sash over at Pick Dawgz Premium. You see the great results from Damon in NBA. Get on board with those long-term passes. Remember, the 1-month pass will get you all college hoops regular season and through the conference tournament action with that 1-month all sports pass. Remember, the promo code PICK at checkout will save you that 15% off. Let's see what Rod has for sale over at Pick Dawgz Premium right now. Rod's put together a really good NHL season.
Yeah, definitely. I was chilly. Definitely had cooled off. It went 5-15, and we turned that 5-15 run into a nice 8-3 run here in college hoops. So let's continue that here tonight with my 5-pack as we tackle the books. I got a nice little 5-pack college basketball. In that 5-pack includes my 10-star college basketball slam dunk play of the day. If you're looking for just that one bet, that's it. Scoop it up. Over at Pick Dawgz Premium. As Damien alluded to, the best way to go is long-term, though, here at Pick Dawgz. It's the best way. It's savings to you in your pocket, and you get more winners that way. NBA is back tomorrow. Thursday is a massive slate. NHL is back on Saturday. We got the Four Nations game going on Thursday. I've already loaded in your winner in that for long-term subscribers, so definitely jump aboard long term. Take advantage of that 2-for-1 counter promotional. Even that 3-for-1, 4-for-1 counter promotional. Can't go wrong with that here at Pick Dawgz at Sports Chat Place. Use the promo code PICK at checkout. Save 15% off. Jump aboard. We're heating up here at Pick Dawgz. Jump on aboard. College hoops heating up. I'm excited. I can't wait. So that time of year in March is right around the corner. Gotta get yourself a Duke ticket. Final Four loading up.
Loaded up on the Dukesters. They wanted to play defense this year. They felt that's what was keeping them from going deep in the tournament. Got the defense, now the offense as well. So they're looking good. Got on board with Rod over at Pick Dawgz Premium. Remember the promo code PICK. Save that 15% off. Your long-term passes are your best value, no doubt, there at Pick Dawgz. All right, guys, I have a best bet on the board right now here from College Hoops. Also have a 3-pack with my best bet bundle. So don't buy them both. Either buy one or the other, because both of those packages have my best bet in there. Best bet been doing well here. Another winner yesterday was Southeast Louisiana. Sela getting the money yesterday in College Hoops. So I got a best bet up the board right now. And of course, or you can just get the 3-pack in there as well. Had a winning 3-pack again yesterday, guys. So get on board with me over at Pick Dawgz. Remember, again, the long-term pass. You get that 1-month pass. You get all my premium plays from NBA College Hoops. And of course, you'll get coverage throughout the entire conference tournament action. That will take you to March 17th. So you'll be well covered through the conference tournament action there. Promo code PIG, save you 15% off. Multi-capper promotion. So match me up with both Rod and Damon on a multi-capper promotion and get signed up. All right, that'll do it here for the drive-thru. We're back again tomorrow live at 6 p.m. each time. More college hoops on the action. We've got the NBA game as well. And, of course, you guys be sure to like, subscribe, and set those notifications so you're live with us when we give out these plays. All right, that's going to do it. Before we go, does anybody have anything to say in closing before we go?
I'm looking forward to the Thursday night hockey game. I don't have a play out there on it, but I'm looking forward to that. Like anytime I can watch 3 fights in 9 seconds, I'm all for it. So hopefully we see some more of that.
I'm seeing an opener here. Team SU opened about $1.20 and now $1.10 on both sides. So we've seen Canadian money to open.
It's a coin flip, right?
Yeah,
most of it's pretty coin flip price. It's going to come right down to this. It's going to be a lot tighter. We see a close, tight game in the first one. I think we expect another close, tight game as well in this matchup. The prop bet that I've seen some prop bets. If it's over 1.5 fights, is a plus money prop though. That's the problem. I'm looking and going, they think they're gonna. I think this game might be a little bit closer and tighter, and this is for all the marbles. I don't think we're gonna see as many fisticuffs. Because the under 1.5 fights is juice. It's juice.
I don't
good.
either, but I'm hoping.
They expecting that.
Yeah, they'll be hitting.
We're hoping, right? Yeah.
Right.
If the fights do break out, it'll be a lopsided game. Let's put it that way.
That's right.
If it becomes really lopsided, you're going to see some fisticuffs. So, or even if a team gets up big, I think a team with a 2-goal lead, might get one of those physical guys laying a hit to stir up the other side to.
This total, right? Rod, is potentially hitting 5 because we're seeing like juice minus 125 on the 5.5 right now. Juice to minus 120 on the under. You think we could see a 5 in this one?
Possible. The way it's betting, which is funny because that's not what I think it's. I think it's. I'll tell you. I think it's 3-3 heading to overtime.
Now, what's the overtime rules in this championship?
10 minutes, 3-on-3.
Okay, and then
I don't think they change it. I think it's just like the NHL. Yeah, no, it's 3-on-3 and for 10 minutes. So they jacked it. It used to be 5 minutes in the regular season.
4 minutes.
10 minutes overtime, 3-on-3 for 10 minutes, and if it's still tied after that, then you go to the shootout, and it'll be 5-man. I think they might go 5-man shootout, and then that. So that's why I say 3-3. Sprinkle on the 60-minute draw. I think we need some overtime to get a winner because we want that type of excitement.
Everybody knows NHL reps for this conference. So for this tournament, it's what it's been.
Exactly. So 3-3 loading it up. I think I can't bet it under in this game. There's too many snipers in this game that can be sniping plenty of goals on both sides.
Teams will pull in that goalie early. Whether they're 1 or 2 goals down.
Correct. If you're down, even if you're down 2-1, it's like we've seen yesterday. I couldn't believe that one game in the early game where or the early game Canada was up 4-1 in that game, and Finland pulled a goalie with like 4 minutes left. I was like, 4 minutes? I'm like, man, you're down 4-1. You're pulling the goalie already? Woo! So yeah, we've seen some really early goalie pulls already in this tournament this year. So watch out for that. Exactly.
That's right.
And then we've seen it was 4-1. We've seen it was a 5-3 final. So we've seen 3 goals pretty quick.
Yeah, they did that in that AHL game and went to a couple of weeks ago. They did the same thing. The Kraken
same
AHL
thing. Pulled the
team
goal
pulled
early, right? It's the new thing.
Under 4 minutes left. They did it in the AHL too. So it's
thanks to Patrick Waugh, because he was the guy that led the innovation of pulling goalies early. It was his analytics that said, "Hey, you got to pull them early. With 2 minutes, with down 2, you got to pull them at least 2 minutes, over 2 minutes."
Baseball on the way here, and of course out there in Philadelphia. That was the one team I thought would give LA the trouble would be the Phillies. Your thoughts heading into spring training, Damon, with the Phillies?
They haven't really done too much, and I think their bullpen might be a little bit worse than it was to end the season. So they have excellent starting pitching. It's going to be interesting. I know there's been some talk around here on some of the local radio stations to maybe they trade a guy like Ranger Suarez They have some guys in the farm system that could possibly make an impact. So they maybe trade a guy like him, maybe to get some bullpen help or an outfield bat. So, they kind of stayed. They kind of ran it back, and if it doesn't work out this year, you could see some major changes. I know Alec Boehm is a name that was really on the trading block in the off season. Nothing happened out of that, so it's I don't know that they've really improved. Like I said, they have good starting pitching, but I think the bullpen needs some work.
Yeah, I know that about that with the Phillies. I know, Rhonda, we talked earlier about this with the Vlad situation in Toronto. It looks like it's going to linger. Depends how the media is going to handle it over there. I mean, my opinion is why you pay an agent the agent takes a lot of your maybe 2 to 4% of your money. I don't know if you put a hard limit like that. I think your agent has to continue working to try to get you signed.
I think that's he's just trying to get the deal done, right? Because he doesn't want the distraction. He wants to be focused on hitting and then playing the game instead of having the cloud over your head all season long. So that's why that's why he said what he did. But yeah, you have an agent that should still be working for you behind the scenes. But me as a Blue Jay fan, it's like, get the deal done, man. What are you waiting for? You waiting for somebody else to come by and scoop him up, offer him more money, or you've already made your decision and you're just going to cop out? Well, if that was the case, you should have traded him and got some more pieces back for him last season when he was on the chopping block then and you guys were talking about making a trade. You probably could have got a few big pieces back for him. Now you're going to get a bag of balls back for him. Yay! Or lose in a bidding war at the end of the season. If he's not going to talk, if really he is serious and about shutting it down, now you're going to be in a bidding war and you're going to pay more. And what will happen is you'll let him go by the wayside, and you'll basically really make a team fan base really, really mad at you.
Yeah,
they already are starting to get mad that you didn't sign him already. What are you waiting for?
But he probably see what's going on with it. But remember, Dodgers only field one team; they don't field two teams. So the Dodgers are pretty much stocked up. I don't know if they're going to. I don't think. And then the Mets too. Mets might be the only one out there. I don't think the Mets are going to negotiate with themselves because you need a dancing partner to get that price up. And I don't see the Dodgers really going to be in that market, right?
Watch, who could use a nice little extra bat in their lineup? Same AL, but you could end up in Seattle.
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 Yeah. They need
Seattle needs another little hitter, and they got somebody to spend. Wouldn't shock me if he ended up in Seattle at all.
Seattle's got good young pitching over there. The only thing with Seattle, they can't hit, especially in that ballpark. It's under city.
But we got a coach now. We got a coach. Yeah. Remember the last of the season they started hitting. So nothing like Edgar Martinez is the hitting coach. That's why I say it. I'm like, nothing like, man, put Vladdy into that lineup. Woo!
Yeah, that's right. Edgar Martinez went in and took over hitting coach for Seattle, and they started to show improvement at the plate. So we'll see how it rolls. We're just getting geared up for baseball. Trying to get the brain.
Talking about rivalry because the Blue Jays make a trip to Seattle every year too, right? And then usually the Canadians flock across the border because it's just a 30-minute ferry ride or a 15-minute car ride across the border into Seattle.
Might be harder this year.
And then might be a little harder this year. It might be, but definitely let's sure try. They can just get a boat and go over it. They still have the ferry. I'm sure the blackball ferry is still running. It comes out of Victoria. You just hop on the ferry, brings you right into Seattle, about 45 minutes, right into Seattle, and off the ferry you go over to the game.
There you go. No problem with that. They've been doing that for years. The folks from even
for years.
Going to Seahawks. They're Seahawk fans. They're Seahawk fans. A lot of Seahawk fans from Vancouver.
Lots of Seahawk fans there in the lower mainland of Vancouver heading on over. My buddy is definitely one of them. He always looks at it. He's like, do I go buy tickets in Vancouver for concerts or do I look at Seattle? And he judges the based on price because you can look. Sometimes it's cheaper to go across the border to Seattle to watch a concert or watch a Seattle game. But he's always going over there to watch the Kraken. He's always watching the Mariners. And it's cheaper for him to do that, to watch it there in the U.S. than it is in Vancouver.
Very good. All right. No one's outbidding Cohen, that's for sure. That Cohen may be the only one next year. I don't think the Dodgers will be in the Vladdy market, that's for sure. All right. That's going to do it for the drive-thru, guys. We're back.